Believing in this is the adult version of believing in Santa Claus. I get it, you were taught it as a kid, but you never questioned it. Be honest with yourself, you never questioned it. We experience water laying flat, not curving. Why are there endless NASA documents where they have to assume the Earth is a flat, non-rotating Earth with a stationary atmosphere? When pilots learn to fly a plane, straight from flight dynamics, they have to assume the Earth is flat and non-rotating. Also, that's why they call it an airplane, because it flies in the air over a plane. Pretty basic. There's a reason they call it the horizon, because it's horizontal. It's not going over a curved Earth. Salt flats would only happen on a flat Earth. We always experience the horizon rising towards eye level. If it was a globe, it would dip down away from us, which it never does. We experience the sun moving in the sky. For a sunset, you're supposed to believe you're on a ball falling backwards. We see a light that rules the day and a light that rules the night, but you're supposed to believe there's actually only one light and the moon is a dusty rock reflecting sunlight. On top of that, they look like they're the same size, but the sun's actually 400 times bigger and 400 times further away. What a cool story. We observe this in reality, but you're supposed to believe this is what's happening. Again, cool story. So if you guys actually want to learn more about this stuff, go download the Flat Earth Clock app. And of course, if you're going to do it, use code word TRIGGER. No, I don't get paid for this, but we trigger more Globers every time we wake more people up. Let's go!
So check this out, guys. So they're saying that the moon is 238,000 miles away, and they're also saying that Mars is 199 million miles away, and yet we have a Mars rover on Mars giving us videos and pictures. But in case you forgot, Mars is also spinning around the sun like we are. Let me get this straight. We can get to this, which is 199 million miles away, but simply can't get back to this, which is only 0.2 million miles away. Oh, that's right. NASA and their astronauts saying that we can't get back to the moon because we lost the technology. But yet, we can get to this, let me remind you, which is 199 million miles away. But it just keeps getting worse and worse. They're also saying the moon is totally locked to the Earth, which we will never get to see the other side of the moon. It doesn't make sense because the theory of gravity they use. But let's just say what they're saying is true, that the moon is a dusty rock in outer space and you can physically land on it. And why can't we land a device on it and we can all watch Earth spin? Because it is the same face we see every single day and every single night, and they're saying that we will never get to see the other side of the moon. So it only makes sense that we could land something on it and we could all watch Earth spin. But it's super crazy of them to say that we can get to this, which is 199 million miles away, that we have a Mars rover on Mars giving us videos and pictures, but simply can't get back to this. If you ask me, Mars might be a lot closer than we might think. Come on, guys.
If Flat Earth is true, it means everything you've been told since you were born could be a lie. And matter of fact, it turns out Flat Earth is true. And no, it's not the salvation issue, but it is the one thing that can break you out of the matrix and help you realize you're surrounded by lies. So you just sound like someone who is not in love with the truth when you say it doesn't matter. It does matter to people who love truth, and God is truth. So searching for truth is the way that God recommends that you find Him.
Welcome back to The Trumpet. Let me show you a little project I've been working on. NASA logo, it's not something I made up. And this happens next week. The Path of Totality on April 8th, 2024. This is straight off their website. And that's because NASA in Hebrew means to lead astray or to deceive.
It's been a little bit, but I'm back.
Just out of curiosity, if we live on a globe and the sun is billions of miles away, how the are they going to shoot rockets at the sun during the eclipse? And if they're doing so, are they now just revealing to the world that the local sun is indeed factual and that we do in fact live on a flat earth? Is this how they're going to reveal it to the world, by launching rockets at the sun that we can watch explode? Because I know damn well that you're not going to believe that we have rockets that fly billions of miles away.
Alright, I really need to show you this. It is April 4th at 11:05 p.m. There is a flight from Chicago to Seoul. Flight GTI 8633. Again, this flight is going from Chicago way above Alaska all the way to South Korea. And just so I'm not crazy, here's South Korea, here's Alaska, and here's Chicago. Now, why would they fly all the way over Alaska and then come down when it is almost a perfectly straight line? And before everybody says, oh, we'll put it on a globe, literally a perfectly straight line to South Korea to Chicago. Guys, this photo was taken from 700 miles away, where you could see these mountain ranges. That is 40 miles of curvature missing, or that mountain was at 3,565 feet. Okay, that should be a distance of 701 miles to those mountain ranges, or a missing curvature of 49.8 miles missing.
Right after they discontinued the Nikon P1000, NASA signed a deal with Nikon. Now here's what you get whenever you type it in. NASA signs a deal with Nikon on Google. As such, NASA plans to equip them with some very 2020s camera technology, and the space agency will do so with the help of Nikon. Imagine that, dude. Imagine that. NASA recently signed a Space Act agreement with the Chinese camera maker, outlining how the company will build a bespoke camera for us, man. Plenty of articles all about it. Don't forget about Artemis. It will soon be taking trips to the moon now, okay? As such, NASA plans to equip them with some that's the same thing I just read a second ago. Man, come on. When the Apollo astronauts snapped some 18,000 photographs on the moon in the 60s, they did so with some very 1960s style camera technology, which is weird that they they destroyed the technology to go back to the moon, but I guess they've recreated it at this point, so now they're going to go back to the moon, dude. Yeah, man. Y'all have a good one. Ching.
One giant step backwards. NASA delays its eagerly anticipated return to the moon due to safety concerns, with the crew now not landing on the lunar surface until 2026.
Oh, no. No.
All right, real quick, making another video because I've made a couple videos on the eclipse, got a lot of feedback already. So I want to make this video to encourage you, if you believe in the flat earth or you're trying to figure out what's true and real. And so I get a lot of comments on the videos that I make about the flat earth, and people will always give me all kinds of grief. And it's interesting because people that believe that the earth is a round spinning ball, they can't prove that. They can't prove it spins. They can't prove the earth is 240,000 miles away from the moon. They can't prove that the sun is 93 million miles away from us. They can't prove that. Can't prove the size. Can't prove any of that stuff, okay? But flat earth is easy to prove. Common sense tells us that when the eclipse happens April 8th, the sun and moon are very close together and they're the same size. Now, going to science, if you go to Mount Hood, Oregon, it's where I went. You can go to Pensacola, Florida. If you look at objects from a distance, you can use mathematical formulations to prove the earth is flat. So I just want to encourage you. Mount Hood, if you go 100 miles east of Mount Hood, just drive 100 miles east down the Columbia River Gorge. It's a beautiful place. I wish I could go back, but 100 miles away, get out of your car, look behind you on a clear day, and you can see Mount Hood. 100% of Mount Hood. That's not possible on a ball. And so on flat earth, it's easy to prove the earth is flat because that mountain, Mount Hood, is 100% visible from 100 miles away. It should only be 66% visible based upon all mathematical formulations, trigonometry, computer-generated programs. That mountain should be, 1/3 of it should be below the horizon on a ball, but it isn't. So I can prove flat earth, but you cannot prove that the earth is round and spins. Use science, use math, use common sense, and you'll see Use this eclipse to enlighten yourself, okay? Use this eclipse coming up April 8th to show yourself, to prove to yourself the Earth is really stationary. The sun and moon are right above us. Sun and moon are roughly the same size. They might be the same size, and otherwise we would not have an eclipse. It's easy to prove. Flat Earth is easy to prove. And if anybody gives you a hard time telling you that you're a flurfer, whatever they want to call you, and they can prove that the Earth is round and spinning, they can't. Round spinning ball Earth comes from Kabbalah. Copernicus, Newton, and Pythagoras all developed the round spinning ball theory that the Earth goes around the sun. They all believe Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah. You can't prove it scientifically. No one has, no one will, no one can. It's the facts. Thanks.
The observations of water claim it to be level, flat, and the Earth is motionless. There is no device that has ever measured the Earth spinning like you think it does in outer space. So my opinion is that the sun, the moon, and the luminaries above me, they're the ones that are moving. I'm firm and stationary here on Earth, and I'm not equating the Earth to then be a disk being flat and level. It goes on infinitely. There's just more water resources and land that when it's 70 degrees and nice outside, you're not going to want to go out anywhere else but here where you live. So what's the point of exploring? I'm just encouraging people that they're hiding land and water and resources from us, and they're keeping us all kind of trapped like farm animals.
So I tried to promote my video, spend a little bit of money of getting views from the various different people around TikTok, but they actually denied even promoting it. Obviously, they can say that it's because it's harmful information to be spreading, that you should be looking at the eclipse, and that will help you attain some form of spiritual understanding. There's something powerful about observing the eclipse with your bare eyes that NASA and various different elite agencies are really voicing that that they don't want you to see it. So I'm gonna put a quick video after this, just a little 18-second thing I put together that shows a little bit of NASA, its formation. Just a quick clip. NASA in Hebrew actually means to deceive. Nasha is how they pronounce it. And you know, you can even see with the logo that it's got kind of the snake tongue on it, but of course all these things can be explained off. There's just too many coincidences, and that's the problem. Werner von Braun, who was part of the Nazi party, ended up starting NASA, and on his tombstone he put Psalms 19:1, and if you look that up, it talks about the firmament, and that God created that to separate the waters from the waters. And a lot of people these days are kind of getting to a point where they're wondering why this flat earth movement is becoming such a big thing, and I think it's coming from the mistrust of NASA altogether. That essentially everything that you hear in the media is designed to be the opposite of what is the truth. And when we ask ourselves, if we have a religious upbringing, why they would deceive so blatantly on everything, we know that Satan, Lucifer, the adversary, whatever you want to call it, likes to bastardize all and any of God's work. So to deceive us is the aim.
After looking all over, I finally found a NASA's animation of the April 8th eclipse on a Mercator. If according to the globe model the moon travels from west to east, then the moon has to make a sharp left towards northeast in just 4 minutes. Or, Earth has to make a sharp tilt to justify the path of this eclipse. Neither one is possible. Here you have both NASA's and timeanddate.com animations side by side. According to timeanddate.com, the sun is already eclipsed in Asia. People in Africa and South America should be able to see at least a partial eclipse. The fact that this eclipse can be seen mostly in the United States proves once and for all that the sun and the moon are much smaller and local luminaries. Globe Earth debunked. This eclipse proves once and for all that Earth is not a spinning ball in space.
This is the difference between flat earthers.
And globe believers.
There you go, the proof. The sun is coming out of the clouds. How can the sun come out of the clouds if it was 93 million kilometers away, as they say? Yeah, in school they say that, in Google it says that, in the NASA they say that, but you can see it with your eyes. This is recorded with a plane from a normal passenger going from Australia to Japan above the Philippine Sea. So why would you believe theories out there and explanations and a lot of complicated explanations about something you can see with your own eyes? Believe your eyes, be a skeptic, stop believing what teachers, scientists, and the news and the NASA and the government tells you. Why do you need an explanation? So this shows that the sun is local. It's small, it's not a giant flaming ball, it's small and it's close to us. How close? Many people criticize me online and ask, where is it? But where is it really? How far is it? It's as far as the clouds are. So it's within the dome. Yeah, we're covered by a giant dome and it's within the dome. That's it. Not far, not less. Believe your eyes. You can see it right here.
What's up, everyone? So today we're going to show proof that somebody's lying to us. There's a documentary called Antarctica, A Year on Ice. It came out in 2013, but there is clearly manipulation in this video. So I'm going to disprove something that's not disproving flat Earth. I have the video stacked. There's two different points in the video you can see. One's earlier on, the other one is towards the end of the video. Here we have the same cloud formations. That's interesting. And then the same clouds again. And then if you look at this inside the circle here, slowed it down, there's the same puff of smoke. So it's interesting that they looped it all the way around, yet somehow there's a split in there, and they're showing the same spot twice, but it's supposed to be like a minute and a half, 2 minutes later on their time lapse. So 24 hours later.
Yeah, we can. We can go to a lake and prove it. Okay, this is what makes me think that NASA is lying to me. I remember when I first got born again years ago. I got saved and I become religious and I started reading the Bible, and then I read something about the firmament, and I didn't know what it was.
That's what the Bible used to call like space, like what's outside.
That's what some people say, and the reason why a lot of us don't look more into flat Earth is because when it is brought up, we're fed propaganda. Like, for instance, you see like a pancake Earth out of space, then you hear somebody talking about it. That's not what we think. We don't think that. But that's what the image is that's fed, and then they mocking like flat Earth and telling us why. Where if the Earth was flat, then gravity would pull everything to the center. All this propaganda. Okay, so when I learned about the firmament, I went back. When I heard about the firmament, I went back to the Bible and I said, "Oh yeah, this is what it is." I didn't know what it was, and I remember the Bible saying it's separate the waters from the waters. Then I looked up the word firmament and I looked up the old word. You got to look up what the old word is and stuff like that. And then I figured out what that was, and then that sent me on my journey because it was hard for me to believe. And then I wasn't believing. I was like, it's just all conspiracy until I came across this one video of this guy talking about emergency landings, and this is the one thing that tipped me over to believing the flat Earth, and for a few reasons. I remember this older white lady that was talking about racism in America, and she was talking about how our continent is shaped different. Some continents are bigger than what they put in the maps. So she said they mess with the maps and how thing is, and then this guy was talking about emergency landings. He was saying that one time this Asian lady was coming from Asia, I think Taiwan or somewhere, flying to LAX, and she was pregnant, but she was lying about how far along she was. So she got on the plane anyway, and then she started giving birth on the plane. So they had to make an emergency landing from Asia to Alaska. And if you pay attention to where Alaska is on the globe, that is not an emergency landing. And then his roommate was like, what's going on? He said, man, I can't figure out how this is emergency landing when they're coming from Asia going to LA, and they stopped in Alaska all the way over here. Like, why? How's that an emergency? Why did they stop there? Then he said, oh, that makes perfect sense on a flat earth map. Then he pulled up a scientific, real flat earth map from 1800. The guy was like, what is flat earth map? He said, the United Nations logo. They use it. They throwing it in our face. The map that we use is wrong. It's different. They changed it. This is the actual map, and you can look up in encyclopedias. You can go and check one out of the library. It's a map it says like it's proven. It's a map, and it's scientifically proven. It's a fact that these are the maps that they use. It's a flat Earth map, and you have to fly over Alaska to get to LA. So
from Asia.
Yeah, but Alaska is right by us. It's not far up, but by LA. It's not west. Far. It's not more north than what we think. So, like, we've been lied to. So that is an emergency landing. Then I started looking to other emergency landings, and I started looking to like layovers and stuff like that. And a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Why they would fly all the way up here to change, then like the flat Earth map is totally different. Then once you kind of look into the flat Earth map, and then and when you fly across the world, and like the layouts and what the stops and stuff, then it kind of make sense. The flat Earth, and that's what took me over the edge, was that the emergency landings thing.
The flat Earth map dates back over 1,000 years. This map is credited to being created by a Persian astronomer. His name was Al-Biruni, and he lived between 973 AD to 1048 AD. It's the official map of the United Nations and also the United States Geological Survey. It used to be present in many places before the creation of NASA and the Antarctic Treaty in 1959. Here you see it with Admiral Byrd. This map has been restored by Dmitry from Russia with suggestions of mine, Eddie Alenkar. Known by my YouTube channel Flat Earth Banjo, I asked Dmitry to include the Bermuda Triangle and Point Nemo, a place deep in the Pacific where NASA buries rockets. Then Robert Tozzi, a professional mapmaker, came along and enhanced the map even more. There are many people now selling this map online, but if you could order it from my online store, I would greatly appreciate it. Visit my online store now and order one of the items. I humbly thank you.